Let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, the ballroom.
Patriotism is dead. There's only rebels and tyrants now.
Strange.
A world ready for the righteous and the pure to inherit.
Don't believe in surrenders. No, I still got my saber, Reverend. Didn't turn it into no plowshare either.
I'm taking over this territory.
And maybe someone in the comments can clear this up because there's conflicting reports about this. And this could be like a deceptively edited clip, and maybe I'm just buying some bullshit. But I'm gonna give my own reaction, 2 cents, and as well as a like similar story that happened locally, and the kind of ironic dichotomy and other political finery. So take it away.
So, and just in closing, I wanted to, you've read a lot. We're building a ballroom. For 150 years, they've wanted a great ballroom at here, even a ballroom, not a great one. Just give me a room, because this is a very small room. It will be the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world. So we did this, no charge to the taxpayer whatsoever. This was all donations made by friends of mine and people that love our country. They love it because nobody ever reports it. It will be totally tax-free. Not one penny of tax will be donated to this.
A few moments later.
If you don't think $400 million of taxpayer money is a good investment to create a secure facility at the White House where the President of the United States, the Vice President, the Cabinet, and people from the public can come and, have a meal.
People from the public can have a meal. People from the public, right, because that's the kind of clientele that's going to be allowed into the holy of the holies of the fucking White House. It's just average Joes like you and me. Hey, Trump, can I have a meal at the ballroom? Can you send me an invite so I can have some like tasty $10,000 chicken, please? Me as a service like employee, I'm not going to dox myself here, but am I going to get an event? Am I going to be able to eat there? Lonely old plebe me. Who, yeah.
And gather without what happened Saturday, then
I don't give a shit about what happens to politicians, actually. And here's the dichotomy. So some idiot runs a checkpoint and gets shot and arrested because he wanted to kill the president, okay? So first off, this story, if you choose to believe it, some wingnut ran past Secret Service, police, a metal detector, and got through all these onions of security to threaten the president's life and his family and everyone there at the Correspondents' Dinner. Okay, we'll just take that at face value, even if, right? So locally, here's a compare and contrast story. A local U.S. bank had 2 people gunned down in cold blood after the person robbed it. Where's their ballroom? Where's their place to be safe? And this is where we get into the political rant section. And this is where we get into that people like you and people like me are nothing but plebes and serfs. Like Graham says here, we just foot the $400 million bill. So rich people and their friends and donors and contributors and political PACs can eat in a nice golden encrusted ballroom while we take on the risk of H-1B, asylum seekers, we take on illegal immigration, and we don't really get the protection on levels of these guys. Now, if in fact it is just Trump's private donators and people supporting it, or maybe he pays for it himself, I could give a fuck less. But the minute it went from he's paying for it to supporting it with private donations and donors to we paying for it, that's where I have the problem. We're already footing the bill for war in Iran. We're already footing the bill to protect Israel, like yearly. We're footing the bill in foreign military aid across the world and NATO and other places. And this is horseshit, in my opinion. And it just reaffirms the the point of view that I have, that essentially nothing has changed since the medieval era. Yeah, we got the Magna Carta and the Constitution, but at the end of the day, it's still the rich landowners, the kings, and like rich family clans and connections, like the Scots, right? Where you still have this malformed ruling class over the rest of us, and we don't get a say. Lindsey Graham is about to. Rumor said he was going to lose a seat, but somehow he'll win again. All these career politicians always tend to pull snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Snatch it. So he'll probably be in another 20, 30, 40 years. And it'll be more wars and funding of wars in the Middle East as the Americans, general Americans like me and you, who have to work for a living, we're paying taxes. So a whole bunch of, I know it's going to sound commie and gay, a bunch of rich elitists can eat and have dinner within a gated community, within a gated city, within a gated country, within onions of snipers, SWAT, DC police, and in a city where the average person can't own a fucking gun in Washington DC. So to me, it's more our government, regardless if you're Republican or Democrat, it's becoming more and more of a macabre, disgusting, corrupt group of people that only want to protect themselves from you and I. And yeah, I know that's kind of a bad thing to say, but they're scared shitless. And the more they realize that people are waking up to the scheme of the two-party system, the more MAGA and America First comes around to discovering that we've been fucked, we've been conned. It's going to be bad. The midterms, if you ask me, I believe the Republicans are going to be trounced and massacred in the midterms. And in 2028, they're probably going to get massacred in that campaign too. So that's my prediction. And if I was a betting man, I'll think of something. But what I think I'm going to see is a total collapse of MAGA and a total collapse of the Republican Party, because we keep seeing this time and time again where someone promises something and they steal it away and they have us pay for it. So in my humble opinion, and I'll say this, yes, sure, politicians deserve a safe place where they can eat and convene and have conventions from dirty plebes trying to kill them, and you're gonna pay for it, you fuck, right? So that's where we're at, and that's just generally how it is. And what we have essentially is, again, not sound like a communist, but this is truth. We have a ruling class elite that there's a two-tiered justice system. And again, there hasn't been a single person arrested from the Epstein list. There might be like a royal somewhere, or someone might have been detained or questioned. But other than that, we're not seeing a wide-scale movement against the Epstein like clientele or the Epstein syndicate, as it were. And yeah, that was, I think, I mean, for me, speaking personally, I think I've been hoodwinked. Again, Trump's first term went well, but the second one is beginning to look more and more like a con job. And now, allegedly, we're gonna have to put 400 million fucking dollars for a ballroom we'll never set in, for a ballroom our feet will never grace, for a ballroom that we will only see in pictures, and we won't ever see in a tour, because White House tours, as you know, have to go through an extensive background check. So that's where I'm at. I'm at total political disenfranchisement. And I really don't want to vote in the next election, because I feel like I've been hoodwinked and betrayed. And even with this ballroom bullshit, right? You know, now we're footing 400. Now they want us to foot 400 million fucking dollars again. And it's just wild to me that even with the local event that happened at the US Bank, 2 fucking people my age were gunned down in cold blood. Probably because the US Bank wanted to cut and save some money and not having an armed security guard. So 2 people lost their lives today. And again, where's their fucking ballroom? Where's their security? No. But they're misleading little pissant peons, and those 2 lives aren't shit to people like Lindsey Graham, Trump, or anyone else. And the sooner you realize, regardless of your political affiliation, this is my plea to you, the sooner you realize that you're expendable garbage for this ruling class, the sooner you can realize that it's time to start thinking and preserving and struggling and surviving solely for you, because these people are set. The ruling class are set for millennia, right? They're set with their insider trading, they're set with their connections and lobbyists, they're set with their corrupt networks, and God knows what else in there in Washington, D.C. They are set. You don't need to be involved in this game of elite politics anymore, because technically Rome's on fire. And these people are just going to line their pockets and their bags and get out, as we're going to be left with a post-apocalyptic hellscape of killing each other for food and gas. And that's where I'm at politically. If you want to keep believing the same horseshit system, that's up to you. Godspeed. Hopefully it works out for you. And maybe I'm just panicking. Maybe I'm just scared and a chicken shit, right? Sure, that may be, but what I'm seeing is just more and more decadent corruption, lies, and just being conned. That's what I see. And unless if you have a counterpoint to prove me otherwise, that's that. But other than that, I could give a fuck anymore. Again, soon I have to go to a job that I absolutely hate and loathe to pay taxes. So elite politicians connected to Jeffrey Epstein or mentioned by Jeffrey Epstein can have a lavish fucking party. And it's just funny how Lindsey Graham says people in the public can have an event. Really, again, to prove me wrong, I would totally delete this video and my channel, right? If I could get an invitation to a maga dinner there at the ballroom, if it's done, or just get invited to any political situation, actually, from the right, like a nice embroidered, like everyone else's Trump's high class donors got, that nice golden embroidered invitation to something, I would shut up and I would eat my hat if I got something in the mail about that, right? If I actually got invited to a seat at the table, I would shut the fuck up entirely. But we all know that the only people who get connections to the president or within power are people who have blackmail, who commit blackmail, who have dirty secrets on someone, or 3, have a shitload of money to buy influence and to contribute to campaigns. But other than people like you and me, we're fucked. We're nothing. We're a resource to be exploited, and used so they can continue being protected. And that's what this shit is. And I'll call it out with, regardless if it's right or left. Fuck this ballroom. And unless if Trump's paying for it personally and his private donors, as he says, I can't imagine, as all the beds and nests he shit on, I can't imagine that there'd be anyone who'd actually legitimately help paying for that. But if he does it himself, fine. But this $400 million ticket given to the taxpayer shouldn't be. And of course, if this is some weird leftist talking point, that's a lie. Someone say otherwise, but yeah, it's fuck your ballroom. Taxpayers are already suffering enough. Or there's been an increase in gas, and things are probably about to get much worse with Iran and the Strait of Hormuz and gas prices in general. So we're hurting pretty bad. So fuck you, Lindsey Graham, and sorry, but fuck you, Trump, and anyone who. Oh, there's a few more seconds. Get a load of this.
I disagree. This is the #1 job of the federal government.
I'm working on legislation to ensure that we are getting the ballroom funded. It's obviously a national
ensuring that they get the ballroom
security element to that.
It will be totally tax-free. Not 1 penny of tax will be.
What a load of shit. And there it is. I think America First was an absolute on job, motto, a phrase that he used to get votes. Trump has already, backstabbed Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Alex Jones. And one more thing I'll leave you here. Alex Jones, Trump said to Alex Jones, he's a bankrupt bum, even though Trump's been bankrupted like 6 times. So that's rich. So there's a lot of disenfranchised political people right now. And if there's a third party or other candidate that wants to tap into that, if you run an America First and America Only campaign, you'll probably get a lot of votes and you might actually win. Because there's disenfranchised people on the left and right and everywhere that are looking for a candidate or person that actually puts America first. Or at least the idea of the American citizen and their concerns first. But who knows? That's that. Hopefully you found this video entertaining. See you next time. God bless. Stay happy, stay healthy, and
money. We gotta make some money.
The sky